Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for taking part in this webinar presented by IPMA SIG Software. My name is Mi, the global head of this special group. SIG Software focuses on project management in the software and information services industry. Our aim is to explore how the unique characteristics of this industry manifest, establish standards, propose excellence models, and promote them through industry practices. This effort may elevate the quality of development of this industry, thus accelerate the digital transformation across various industries. Today, the theme is latest advancements and challenges in software project management. My teammate, Mr. Jiping Pan, will be the moderator of this webinar. Jiping, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zhou. And let's start and say hello to everyone. My name is Alex, and I have been providing project management service for Huawei almost over 12 years, mainly responsible for risk management of the large-scale projects. I'm the moderator today. Angie, could you please introduce yourself first?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Eunji Choi. I specialize in entrepreneurship and technology management. Now I am a professor of business administration at Honam University in South Korea, and my research focus on AI-driven innovation, startup ecosystem, and technology policy. Beyond academia, I have contributed to several national AI policy and startup ecosystem reports, particularly in areas such as regulatory innovation, investment strategies, and digital transformation. I also serve as an international regulatory consultant for a global tech company right now, and advising on AI governance, cross-border data compliance, and emerging technology frameworks. So it is truly an honor to be speaking here at IPMA, the world's leading institution for project management excellence. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Emma?
Hello, hi. My name is Emma He. So
Your voice a little bit lower.
oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, it's okay.
Hi. Okay. So my name is Emma He. So I'm a senior project management expert at ByteDance in San Jose, USA. So my focus areas includes driving technical project executions across the video and edge traffic infrastructure domain. And my core responsibilities include aligning cross-functional teams to optimize cost efficiency, resolve technical issues, and operational blockers to ensure that our delivery of the critical cost initiatives are on time and on quality. So previously I was a senior technical project manager in OCI.
Thank you, Emma. Christine.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. My name is Christian Vaney. I've spent my career working across AI, project-driven, and governance, and I wrote a book on AI-driven project management that's in many universities and institutions in the world. It just was recently released in China as well. After seeing the same challenge repeated across industries and countries of AI-driven project management, that's the reason why I decided to write this book. And I'm also a professor at some universities in Canada here. And I also work as a chief AI officer for a healthcare company in Precision Pro, which is prostate cancer for robotics and artificial intelligence. Um, so, yeah, that's what I do right now.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome to this full English webinar. This hosted by IBM SIG software. Currently driven by AI and data technologies, the software project management is embracing a brand new transformation. This event has special invited 3 industrial experts to share insight from 3 dimensions. The first, global governance. The second is data application. And the last one is the practical true usage. And the key highlight of the sharing section, the first one, governance, analyze global AI regulator trends to help formulate more compliant and integrate intelligence the project decisions. The second is data-driven decision-making, uncover data-driven management practice to stimulate team motivation and promote the efficiency implementation of projects. The last one is the AI tool-driven project management, explain how to integrate AI tool into entire project management process to improve project accuracy, efficiency, and overall success rate. I hope today sharing will bring help and inspiration to all of you. Here is today's agenda. First, our expert will give theirs, sharing one by one. If you have any questions during the periods, you can leave the message in the comment section. After all 3 experts finish their sharing, we can enter Q&A session to answer your questions at the same time. At the end of this event, I need to remind all of you, please help to fill out the questionnaire to help us improve the quality of future sharing sessions. Now, let's welcome Perfection Engine from South Korea to give us a sharing. Topic is global AI governance and its impact on project decision management. Welcome, Angie.
Thank you. Thank you for the great presentation for me. Okay, today my title for the presentation is Global AI Governance and its Impact on Project Decision Management, Balancing Innovation, Compliance, and Accountability in the AI Era. First of all, I deeply respect IPMA's long-standing commitment to advancing professional standards, and I'm excited to share how AI and global governance frameworks are reshaping innovation and decision-making in project management today. This is the content for the presentation. Okay, AI has become a core driver of modern project management. From task automation to risk forecasting, AI enables faster and more accurate decision-making. But as we integrate AI deeper into our workflows, the question shifts from what AI do to how should we manage AI responsibly. Project managers today are no longer just timekeepers or coordinators, right? They must also navigate complex regulatory environments that influence how AI can be used, audited, and explained. Governance is the intersection between AI technology and governance is where the real transformation in project decision management begins. So let's start by looking at how project management itself is changing in the era of AI. On the left, you can see the characteristics of traditional project management, manually scheduling, human-centered judgment, and reactive response to risk. These projects were usually governed with local or organizational boundaries. On the right side, AI-driven project and resource allocations are now automated. Decisions are based on data predictions rather than intuition. Risk management has become proactive, identifying issues before they happen. Most importantly, project governance is no longer limited to a single organization or country. We are now dealing with cross-border AI governance frameworks, meaning project managers need to understand not only how to use AI, but also how to manage it responsibly under different regulatory systems. In other words, the role of the project manager is evolving from task controller to AI governance interpreter. AI gives us incredible speed and efficiency, but without proper governance, speed can lead to chaos. Governance defines how we design, apply, and evaluate AI in projects. It ensures that technology remains aligned with human values, ethical standards, and legal frameworks. In many cases, project failures today are not due to poor technology, but due to poor governance. That's why I argue that in the AI era, governance matters even more than technology itself. This slide represents the balance we must achieve between technology and governance in the era of AI-driven project management. On the left, technology side gives us speed and efficiency. AI automates repetitive tasks, optimize workflows, and deliver algorithmic optimization that helps us make data-driven decisions faster than even before. In short, technology enables us to move fast, to scale projects, reduce cost, and react to change in real time. But on the right, governance plays an equally critical role. Without safety and accountability, innovation can easily cross ethical boundaries. Governance ensures ethics, transparency, and fairness. It reminds us that every decision made by algorithm still needs human oversight, human insight, and explainability. It also keeps projects aligned with legal compliance and social trust, which are essential for long-term sustainability. The key takeaway here is that AI success is not just about building smarter systems, it's about managing them responsibly. Technology moves us forward, but governance keeps us on the right path. And as project managers, our role is to balance these two forces, ensuring that innovation never comes at the cost of accountability. Okay, in the EU budget compliance early. Expect impact assessment, documentation, and human-in-the-loop controls. Decisions slow a bit upfront, but you gain reliability and trust with regulators, customers, and auditors. Let's start with Europe. The pioneer in global AI regulation. You must heard of the EU AI Act. Officially adopted in 2024, is the world's first comprehensive legal framework for artificial intelligence. It classifies all AI systems based on their level of risk from unacceptable to high, limited, and minimum. For instance, AI system used for surveillance or social scoring for under the unacceptable category and are banned entirely. High-risk AI, such as credit scoring or hiring algorithm, must go through strict compliance procedure, including transparency documentation, human oversight, and external audits. For project managers, this means compliance is no longer a post-project activity. It starts from day one. Team must plan for risk classification, build documentation pipelines, and prepare for conformity assessments. The result? Project may take longer to start, but they emerge with far higher level of trust, transparency, and long-term resilience in regulated markets. And EU AI Act doesn't stand alone. It's part of a broader digital rollback. It's built on 4 supporting pillars. First, GDPR, which ensures data protection and consent, forming the foundation for AI data governance. Second, Digital Service Act, so-called DSA, which brings algorithmic accountability to online platforms. And the Data Act, promoting fair data sharing and interoperability for AI training, and the Cyber Resilience Act, ensuring that connected systems meet cybersecurity standards. Together, these laws create a complete trust framework: GDPR, DSA, CRA. For project managers, this means AI governance is not a single checkbox. It's a multi-layered ecosystem where privacy, transparency, and security all interact. Next is United States. US has always taken market-driven approach to AI governance rather than imposing one comprehensive law like EU or Korea. It relies on sectoral regulation and corporate accountability. Under the previous administration, we saw initiatives like the NIST, which is National Institute of Standards and Technology, AI Risk Management Framework, and President Biden's executive order on safe, secure, and trustworthy AI, which emphasized ethical AI, transparency, and fairness. But after President Trump returned to office in 2025, this year, the tone shifted dramatically. His executive order 14179, titled Removing Barriers to American Leadership in AI, rolled back several Biden-era safeguards. In July 2025, AI Action Plan, Winning the AI Race, planned innovation and infrastructure at the center of US strategy. The message was clear: less regulation, faster innovation. For example, the previous AI diffusion law restricting AI model exports were rescinded, allowing freer global competition. At the same time, laws like the Take It Down Act were introduced to tackle deepfakes and misuse of generative AI. So, what does this mean for project managers? While there's now more freedom to innovate, there's also less external oversight. You must take on greater internal responsibility, building your own ethical guardrails, bias audits, and documentation processes. In short, AI governance in the US has moved from risk first to innovation first. Project success now depends not only on technical execution, but on how well your team can self-regulate and adapt to shifting political priorities. In China's approaches to AI governance is fundamentally state-led. The interim measures for generative AI service, enacted in 2023, mark one of the world's most comprehensive AI governance frameworks. These rules requires every AI provider to conduct security reviews, register algorithm, and ensure that model outputs reflects approved social and political norms. This means project managers must think of compliance as the first step, not the last. Before any model of service goes live, it needs security clearance, content audits, and sometimes algorithm filing with the Cyberspace Administration of China. The deep synthetic regulation also adds another layer, demanding traceability for AI-generated content, especially deepfakes. Beyond the regulations, China's AI-driven development plan integrates AI into its national 5-year strategy. That means successful projects are those that align with government priorities such as industrial AI, smart manufacturing, and defense technologies. For foreign or private project teams, the key to success is alignment and collaboration. Working with state-blocked partners ensures faster approvals and smoother scaling. In short, in China, policy alignment equals project approval. Innovation is encouraged, but only with the boundaries of national strategy. And South Korea's approach to AI governance is hybrid model. It ensures innovation through sandbox, but it's now moving toward formal regulation under the AI Basic Act. The AI Basic Act, which take effect in 2025, established the foundation for the Korea's AI ecosystem. It classifies AI system by risk levels, introduce algorithmic accountability, and requires organization to uphold fairness and transparency. At the same time, the AI regulatory sandbox remains a powerful tool for startup and corporations to test AI service in real-world conditions under temporary exemptions. This allows companies to innovative quickly while collecting data and evidence to support future compliance. Another key pillars in Korea's data three roles, which regularized data sharing and enabling AI model training while maintaining privacy safeguards. For project managers, the message is very clear. Start with sandbox pilots, build ethical documentation, and prepare to scale under the new AI Basic Act. In essence, Korea is building an ecosystem that seeks to balance speed with safety, a model that many other countries are likely to follow. And lastly, Japan. Japan represents a unique model in global AI governance. Unlike the EU or China, Japan does not rely on strict enforcement or heavy regulation. Instead, it follows a principle-based and innovation-first approach. The AI Promotion Act, enacted in 2024 and effective from 2025, focuses not on restricting AI, but on encouraging its safety and responsible utilizations. It provides broad ethical guidance rather than specific compliance checklists. Japan also operates under the AI Strategy 2022, which emphasizes human-centric AI, the belief that technology should empower people, not replace them. Supporting this, the governance guideline for AI principle developed by METI translate as eight ethical principles: fairness, transparency, privacy, and accountability into practical steps for business. For project managers, this means governance is less about regulation and more about self-discipline. Documenting decisions, communicating transparency, and embedding human-centered design into your AI life cycle. In short, Japan's model is built on trust, harmony, and responsibility, a soft but effective framework that balances innovation with social values. Okay, now that we've seen how different regions govern AI, let's examine how these differences shape project decision management. In the EU, decision moves slower because compliance is built into every phase. Project managers must coordinate with the legal, data, and ethics officers before execution. In contrast, the US moves very fast. Innovation takes priority, but internal governance boards handle ethics and risk audit after deployment, meaning that responsibility is internalized, not regulatory externally. In China, decisions often depend on state alignment. A project may be technically ready, but it cannot move forward without policy approval or registration with government agencies. South Korea uses a hybrid approach. The regulatory sandbox allows projects to launch as pilots first, and only after proving safety and public value can they scale fully. Finally, Japan relies on voluntary, principle-based governance. Decision speed is very high, but accountability is more rather than legal. What this tells us is that AI governance shapes the tempo, structure, and ownership of decisions. In the AI era, project manager must understand not only how to manage tasks, but how to manage decisions under different governance environments. When you talk about AI in project management, we often celebrate how it accelerates efficiency, automating tasks, forecasting risk, and optimizing schedule. But speed alone is not success. Every leap in efficiency introduces new kinds of risk, ethical, social, and even legal. The real challenge today is balancing innovation and regulation. Too much control slows creativity and skills experiment. Too little controls risk public backlash, bias, and compliance violence. In the AI era, project managers are no longer just process optimizers. They are also risk interpreters. Every project decision now has two dimensions: performance outcomes, responsibility outcomes. The most effective organizations don't wait until the end to handle compliance. They practice compliance by design, embedding transparency, fairness, and documentation directly into their workflows. The approach transforms regulations from a bureaucratic burden into competitive advantage. As AI transforms how decisions are made, the role of project managers must evolve as well. Let's look at the 5 new competencies shaping effective leaders in the AI era. First, regulatory literacy. Understanding how laws like the EU AI Act or national frameworks affect your project scope and deliverables. This means knowing what's high risk, what's permissible, and how to integrate compliance from day one. Second, ethical foresight. The ability to see ethical risk before they happen. A good project manager does not wait for the bias to appear in outcomes. They build ethics reviews into every major milestones. Third, data governance skills. Managing where data comes from, how it's stored, and how it's shared. In AI-driven project, data is not just input, it's the foundation of trust. First, human AI collaboration leadership. This is new. Project managers must now lead hybrid teams where humans and algorithms co-create decisions. That means helping teams interpret AI output critically, not blindly. Finally, 5, adaptive decision agility, the capacity to adjust project strategies as regulations or technology evolving. The best project manager today operates like learning system, continuous sensing, adapting, and improving. Okay, so where does all this lead us? The future of project decision management will not be about controlling AI, but about collaborating with it. First, we are moving from control to co-decision. AI no longer just provide dashboards, it will offer strategy recommendations, even negotiate trade-offs. Our job as project managers will be to maintain human oversight, to ensure those decisions remain transparent, accountable. Second, we will move from static plans to adaptive systems. In the past, we created project plans and executed them. Now we'll create adaptive frameworks that evolve in real time with new data and new regulations. This means project management itself becomes a learning system. And third, we'll move from efficiency to ethical value. Efficiency is no longer the only metric of success. AI governance will require us to measure fairness, transparency, and public trust as part of project KPIs. The ultimate message is this: AI will not replace project managers, but project managers who understand AI governance, those who can combine innovation with responsibility, will be the ones leading the future. Okay, as we conclude, let's bring everything together. First, AI governance shapes decision logic. Second, project managers are becoming translators. Third, balance is the new competitive advantages. But it's the human who decide what truly matters. That's the essence of the responsible project leadership in the AI era. Okay, so we've explored 5 different models of AI governance from Europe, rule-based review, and 2, America's innovation-first dynamism. 3, China's policy alignment force and Korea's balanced sandbox model. And 5, lastly, Japan's principle-driven approach. At first glance, these systems look incomparable and even contradictory. But beneath the surface, they all pursue one common goal: is the trustworthy AI. For project managers, that means one thing: you must be globally literate, but locally adaptive. You need to understand the EU's compliance mindset. The EU's entrepreneurs friend. You need to understand every country's all governance. Yeah, that's it for now. And thank you for listening. And if you have any questions after our presentation, I can answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ng, for your wonderful sharing. You have deeply analyzed the global AI regulatory trends and provided strong reference for formulating more compliant and intelligent project decision. For online friends, if you have any question, please leave the message in the comment section. And our expert will answer the questions at the last part. It's not now, okay? And then next, let's welcome Miss Emmer, a senior project management expert from ByteDance. Do you know the ByteDance company? This is a very famous company. They have a product is very famous called TikTok, okay? And okay, Emmer, to share with us the topic is uncover data-driven project management strategies, exploring how to empower teams and drive execution with data.
Thank you, Alex. Can you hear me okay? Can you guys hear me okay?
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, okay. It's a great honor to be here and to share and learn with my fellow project managers. So today my topic is to uncover strategies for data-driven project management. So here is a brief introduction of the table of contents. So first, I'm going to give a brief description of what is data-driven project management, and then I will go into a little bit more details into the implementation practice in software development project. And I will wrap it up with some tips and thoughts. So first, let's look at what is data-driven project management. It is an approach to project management that emphasizes the collection, analysis, and use of data to make informed decisions throughout the project lifecycle. So in this approach, data is used to set goals, measure progress, identify potential risks and opportunities. And in the end, we also want to make adjustments to the project plan in real time with the data. So here, there are a lot of benefits of data-driven project management. Here, I just listed 4 major ones. So the first one is improved decision-making. So with all the data collected, analyzed, and used, data provides objective insights to help the project managers to make informed decisions rather than relying on gut feelings or assumptions. And second, so we will have better project delivery because we can use the data to track project status and evaluate it against the KPIs or the metrics we set. In this way, so we can identify risks at the early stage. Thus, it will ensure the health of the overall project status. And the real-time monitoring of the areas that require more resource is another benefit of data-driven project management, because we will have data to support or to inform us where more resources or bottlenecks are identified. So we can allocate resources more efficiently and use it more efficiently. Last but not least, transparent communication. So real-time data and the standardized reporting provides a single source of truth, so which fosters trust and alignment. Overall, data-driven project management ensures decisions are supported by data, while advocating transparency, accountability, and continuous improvement throughout the project. So next, I'm going to go to the some detailed practice in software development to check or to share how what are the tips or how we can use or implement the data-driven project management approach. So data-driven project management involves a continuous cycle of collecting, analyzing, and acting on data. This process begins with the identification of key performance indicators, aka KPIs. So those will be used to measure the success of the metrics of the project. So how can we establish or create the success metrics? So first, we can identify the business impact. How? We can use creative and thought-provoking techniques. For example, a letter to a mentor exercise. So where stakeholders articulate the outcomes they proudly share with a trusted mentor a year from now. And another approach would be like an elevator pitch to a CEO, where you would summarize and highlight the major benefit of the project to a CEO like in 1 minute, because this helps unearth measurable goals that reflect the like a broader aspiration of the business and sets the stage for prioritizing high impact areas. So with this identification of business impact, then we can refine the metrics. So we can translate these high-level aspirations into specific, actionable, and measurable metrics. So for example, rather than targeting a project to deliver like the ABC features in 2025 Q3, it's better to aim for metrics like we want to roll out this feature in a specific region with a feature adoption rate of, for example, like 50% by 2025 Q3, because this refinement ensures clarity, accountability, and the ability to track meaningful progress. But after you have the successful metrics and you are aware of the business value, don't forget you also need another round or even several rounds of stakeholder reviews. So establish a feedback loop with key stakeholders to validate and refine the defined outcomes continuously. Because collaborative reviews help ensure alignment, uncover blind spots, and reinforce buy-ins. It also creates a shared commitment to achieve a business value. And with the success metrics in mind, next, we also want to align tasks with the successful metrics. So here in this graph, I drew some typical phases for a software development project. Normally, we will have like the requirement gathering or the design of a feature or product. And then based on this requirement, we will have the engineering development. With that, we will have testing and deployment. So for each of the phases, we will have different tasks or backlog items. But how can we align these tasks with our overall success metrics? So one exercise we want to do is to translate the metrics. So how do we do this? So we want to validate tasks or backlog items against our project success metrics. So each item in the backlog must be tied back to the success metrics directly or indirectly to ensure the relevance and impact. So this validation process acts as a test for prioritization, because in this way, we can understand what features drives are the major drivers for the success of our project and what features we can discard, which don't contribute to the success metrics. So for example, if the project success metrics is to reduce a product unit cost by 10%, maybe one of my engineering capacity is to improve the operation overhead resource utilization by a certain percentage. And of course, there are some other like product features that will also contribute to the unit cost, because in this way, we will have a more defined and more measurable metrics that can help us to track the progress of the tasks, as well as to evaluate risks if there's any changes or any deviation happens. So with the framework set up, so next we want to automate data collection and analysis. So I want to separate this step to two. One is collection and one is analysis. For data collection, this step is required to build a strong foundation that will turn into project reports and project information. The first step for data collection is to determine the data types we need. For this exercise, also we want to check with all the project stakeholders to understand the data types and to ensure that the data types are also have priorities, and we will make strategies to utilize them. And then we will use the project management softwares to collect data. These softwares can be CRM systems or surveys or tools or whatever the data collection tools are available in your company. And then we want to validate the data to ensure it is accurate, complete, and up to date. So having a strong system for data collection and management is a great move. So this includes setting up systems for collecting data, storing it securely, and making it accessible to those who need it. However, I don't think like a comprehensive data collection system is a requirement to implement this data-driven project management approach. Personally, I feel what matters more is to ensure that the data you're tracking are the ones that drive the success of the project. So typically in a project, especially in traditional project management approach, project managers will track schedule, time, and resource. But how it ties back to the breakdown metrics or the overall project successful metrics is missed. So with the previous alignment framework, we talked about how do we align the tasks and metrics so we can not only track progress of work, but also understand each work's impact on the overall project success delivery. And besides, we also want to track the quality, performance, maintainability, or user satisfaction metrics because those metrics will be the foundation to define the completion or the quality, which is another common pitfalls that some project managers will miss to track those data. So with all this data, systems all the data systems established and the data analyzed, we want to implement agile data review cycles because prioritization must be driven by a clear understanding of the value each feature delivers. So to deliver meaningful impact, team leaders must keep daily execution aligned with success metrics. Keeping an eye on things and being adaptable to change is already an integral part of a project manager's job. Coupled with a data-driven approach, the strategy and the approach, it becomes increasingly urgent to monitor and track the data for high-level insights. So this involves monitoring the project's progress regularly, analyzing the data to identify any deviations from the plan, and being flexible enough to make changes when necessary. The last practice here is to manage risk. So with a comprehensive framework collecting the project overall goals with each backlog items or tasks, we can gather various forms of data in real time to proactively identify and address potential issues before they escalate. Another advantage is to predictively or proactively analyze risks by using statistical methods or machine learning or AI tools to analyze this data and forecast potential risks or bottlenecks or trends. So in this way, sometimes we can just kill the risks even before they occur. Last, since we have already established the connection between each task's progress or each task's impact on the overall project success, we can perform simulations to understand different outcomes. So, for example, one of the most popular simulation method is a Monte Carlo simulation. So, with this approach, we understand if there is any deviation for each task or each backlog items, and then we understand if we change our plans, you change the schedules or change the scope, how it will impact the overall success metrics of the project. So overall, data-driven risk management is a strategy that uses information and analytics to identify, assess, and systematically mitigate potential risks. And last, I want to share some tips and thoughts about the data-driven project management. So first, data-driven project management does require additional resource on planning because we need more effort to tie each phase, requirement, or tasks back to the project's overall successful goal. And we also need the investment on data collection and data analysis. But the level of investment can be adjusted as needed. Because some would say, so our company or my project does not have enough foundations or support to create a comprehensive or robust data framework or data collection system. But I don't think it will be like a stopper to implement this approach, because you can just start from a simple way and use the data available. Just start with some simple data that can be easily collected. But more importantly, make sure that data you are using or the data you are tracking has good quality and the data is governed, because it will determine the story, because it will determine your story's accountability and ensures that the interpretation of the data is in the right context. Although data-driven project management is a great approach, it may not be applicable to cases such as like early stage projects or creative projects like some design projects, where data is not quantified or most of the time available. Last but not least, balance data with human insights or judgments. So while data provides invaluable insights, there should be a balance of data-driven decisions and human judgment and experience. So data can sometimes be incomplete or misleading if not interpreted correctly. Project managers should use their expertise and intuition to complement data insights, ensuring that decisions to perform data analysis are well-rounded and appropriate. So I think a lot of the popular topics that currently everyone has been talking about is to how to integrate AI into our project management approaches. So personally, I'm still exploring that. So I can think that a predictive analysis or AI-powered predictive analysis can forecast potential risks and project outcomes based on historic data. Based on this, data-driven project management will lay a foundation to harness the power of AI tools. So for example, AI algorithms can analyze past projects' data to predict future delays, budget overruns, or research shortages. So by anticipating these issues in advance, project managers can take proactive measures to mitigate risks and ensure project success. And other tools could also enhance our data visualization So we can just feed the tools with the data with high quality, and then it will save the project managers a lot of time to draw the draft or to create high quality reports. So for this exercise, I think I'm still here to learn. And if you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to share. Thank you. So that wraps up my presentation here. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Emma, for your wonderful sharing. You have clear to tell us data-driven management practice, which are very important for stimulating team motivation and promoting the efficiency implementation of the projects. For all online friends, if you have any questions, please leave the message in the comment sections first. Then at the end, we have one part about the Q&A session, and then we will together feedback the questions to you. Okay, let's the last one. Welcome to Mr. Christine, an expert in the field of integrating project management and AI, and he wrote a new book about AI and management, and very famous in management field. Today, Christine to give us the topic about AI-driven project management. Welcome.
Thanks a lot for the intro. I'll just dive right into it. Let me just share my screen here. So again, my name is Christian Beanie. I'm from Canada, Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I'm excited to be here with you today. So we're going to talk about something that's no longer optional in project management. It's how to bring AI into the way we build and deliver software. I have a 15 years of background in IT. I used to be a programmer, project manager, I'm a professor, and so I have a well grasp of knowledge on the IT sector as well too. So this isn't about theory. You'll see real examples for companies like JD Logistics and Amazon, and I'll talk about Microsoft a little bit as well too, and of course areas in China. So these aren't just tech giants; they're project labs that push AI to the limit, like OpenAI. OpenAI invented, we all know ChatGPT, right? And there's a lot we can learn from their moves. So by the end, away, you'll walk away with a small playbook that works right in where in your industry, right where you are from right now. So let's go into it. So project managers and delivery leaders are being asked to move faster, manage more complexity, right? And deliver with less risk, all while technology expectations keep accelerating. That pressure is global. So whether it's AI adoption in North America, regulations shift in Europe, or massive scale platforms in Asia, the demand for
Sorry, Christine, we cannot see the desktop. Can you share the, yeah,
oh,
okay.
are you not seeing that?
Yes,
No.
no. Can you try it again? Yeah, loading, it's okay. It's okay right now.
You can see it now?
Yes, yes.
You can see that.
Yes, we can see. We can see now.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, so project managers, again, so whether it's an AI adoption in North America, or regulation shifts in Europe, or massive scale platforms in Asia, the demand for speed and precision keeps rising. So, so today's session is practical. Again, we're going to be looking at what's actually working worldwide, and I'll show you how you can start applying it immediately in your projects. Okay, so on this screen, you could see the initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, and closing phases. Is that correct? You can see that?
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Okay, so that's the the PIM box basic phases, or what they call process groups, and it traditionally works on every project, yes, but you have to redefine it obviously and to your own industry's framework. So PMI, PMAI, which is Project Management and Artificial Intelligence, or AI-driven project management, is the fusion of traditional project management frameworks with intelligent AI-driven execution. So it's not about replacing project managers, it's about amplifying their decision-making, foresight, and speed. So across industries, AI is being embedded into project governance and delivery, as we heard earlier. For example, at major companies like Siemens Health, AI systems help forecast risk and optimize construction timelines for smart factories. At Microsoft, AI-driven analytics align globally with global workforce planning and real-time demand. In China, the state construction industry, in engineering construction, uses AI to predict risks and allocate teams across mega skyscraper builds. So classic project management now enhanced by intelligent systems. So this PM AI in action, structure and discipline meets adaptable and automation. So AI across the project phases is the real power of AI-driven project management from life cycle. Integration. So if you go into integration, AI supporting every phase of delivery. Initiation, AI assists with idea generation, right? Stakeholder analysis and early feasibility. Example would be like in Singapore's Smart Nation program, AI tools simulate city design options before any ground is broken. Let's look at planning. So AI models test project schedules, forecast risks, and simulate resource use. An example would be China's railway uses predictive AI to optimize rail network expansion and avoid cost overruns. So execution, AI automates workflows, generates reports, and monitors delivery performance. An example of this is Amazon Web Services. It applies AI to streamline software testing and accelerate development life cycles. Monitoring and controlling, predictive analytics track progress, detect risk patterns, and suggest real-time corrections. An example of that would be Alibaba's supply chain AI dynamically reroutes deliveries based on weather and traffic data, mirroring approaches now seen in UPS and DHL logistics systems. And that's pretty cool that they have that right now. The closing is AI captures lessons learned, consolidates outcomes, and generates audit-ready reports. So, example, in startup North America companies and even Asia use all these startup companies now use generative AI platforms to compile investor summaries and compliance reports instantly after a project is closed out. So, in short, AI-driven project management is no longer a concept; it's a new operating model for execution at scale. So it connects human judgment, machine intelligence, and continuous adaptation into one project system. Okay. So this is the playbook I was talking about. We're going to move quickly, but everything I show you has been used in production by real teams facing real challenges. You'll see how JP Morgan Risks team uses AI for real-time fraud detection, and how Amazon Robotics built digital twins for warehouse automation and more. At the end, you'll have basically a plan you can run into your own organization to dive into right away. So let's break down how to move from generic prompts into precision prompts. So a lot of people are using, the ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Kimi, Gemini, all of that kind of stuff. But how do you actually use that if you're using this within a customized model in your organization? Well, I came up in my book is a very, very powerful formula, and it's called RAFT. So it's a five-part structure that ensures your AI knows exactly who it is, what to do, where it's operating, how to deliver, and in what tone. So let's start with this. Rule. Start by defining who the AI should act as. So example, act as a project manager, right? Act as a risk analyst or act as a bilingual policy writer. giving the model a clear identification aligns its reasoning and style with that persona, which is extremely important to start off with your prompt. The ask, then comes the task or request itself. So what do you actually want? You want a report, a strategy, a summary, be action orientated. Use verbs like analyze, design, evaluate, or draft. And the context defines the environment or situation. So where is the task taking place? What constraints exist? For example, in healthcare projects in Canada, or where the project environment is in China. These give the model the more boundaries it needs to produce relevant, realistic content. So the format, this is about how you want to answer delivered. How do you want to answer delivered? How do you want your answer delivered? So specifically, the output structure, a table, you want a Gantt chart, you want an executive summary or a risk matrix. So without it, the model guesses your preferred format and may return something that's, unusable. So you really have to define what you want. What are you looking for? A Gantt, table, risk matrix, a traceability matrix, a business case. You have to let it know the type of format that you want. You want any clear and concise bullets. It's really, really useful to do that. And finally, you define the style and voice of the output. Should it be concise, technical, persuasive, bilingual, or narrative? The tone drives clarity and usability. It's how you tailor AI communication to your audience. So when you use RACFT, you turn vague prompts into precision instructions. It's a quick mental checklist. So role, ask, content, format, tone that helps you get consistent professional grade outputs from any generative AI system. So I hope that would help the next time you're doing any prompts. So here's a little example of how you would do that. Act as a product owner, create a sprint backlog for a recommendation engine, include data privacy constraints where it equals China, where the format could equal a table. I want a clear and concise tone. This is very simple and high level, but imagine your creativity if you put in a lot of detail where you know where to put the detail in. This is just going what the role is, the ask is, the content, the format, and the tone. But if you be extremely detailed and you use that, this prompt will be a lot longer. However, it will be a lot more efficient, effective, because ChatGPT will be knowing how to deal with your question, the role, and your ask, and how you want this to be delivered. And then you refine and revise it, of course, later on. So this is what you're seeing is very, very light, but extremely effective. But again, if you use that format, the RACFT, and give it a lot of detail following those instructions, you'll see how powerful your outcome would be. So just to let you know why China is often different. So first, you could say this, I've seen China that scales users and transitions platforms and different stuff. They have WeChat mini programs. That's great. But I'm showing you this, but the first scale, but think of a platform like Amazon or TikTok or Shopee, right? Hundreds of millions of users, nonstop transactions, real-time personalization, and zero tolerance for, of course, downtime. So second, so platforms within ecosystems, you're no longer launching an app. You're launching inside super apps, marketplaces, and AI ecosystems from WeChat to Meta to Apple. Each has its own APIs, permissions, and data flows. So whether it's Black Fridays or Prime Day or whatever on Amazon, these aren't kind of campaigns. These are war rooms. So teams need elastic infrastructure, chaos simulation, and rollback plans ready to fire. Okay, so and the GDPR in Europe, the PIPL in China, the CCP in the US, and the EU AI Act, and emerging frameworks in Canada, India, and the Middle East, compliance now drive how we design, plan, and ship. So it doesn't fix anyone, but that's why the new one has been built for global AI driven worlds, like we said, how they're doing it in America and how they're doing it in China in different industries. So these regulations are extremely important to follow by. They're still being worked on a lot in the world right now, but it is a good way to regulate any type of biasness or even misuse of AI. So here are the 5 shifts I see in the most successful teams. Okay, so first, AI as a teammate, not just a tool, something that writes, tests, drafts, tickets, trials, bugs, right? Second, the experimentation flywheel. So fast feedback, always on feature flags, roll back in seconds. And then there's platform thinking, internal developer platforms with golden paths and shared services. So the fourth will be compliance by design, privacy checks and CI, no prompt filters and AI tools. And the fifth will be digital twins, so simulate before you ship. So JD Logistics does this with staffing and routing. We'll go through each one of these in a bit here. So let's start with the first shift. So treating AI like a teammate across your life cycle. This means using co-pilots for pair programming, letting generative AI write test cases and auto detect duplicates. So this just isn't about saving time, it's about raising consistency and coverage, especially in a chaotic delivery cycle. You'll still review and approve, but AI does the heavy lifting, of course. That's what we mean by AI-driven, project management partnership. Okay. So the second shift is about the speed of learning. So they run thousands of experiments. Like there's ByteDance is famous for this. So they run thousands of experiments at once with clear guardrails. You want always on feature flags, right? The A to B test linked to one North Star metric and auto rollbacks. That's easy as flipping a switch. So the key is not just is testing, but reviewing results weekly, making decisions quickly and feeding the loop. When you do this right, the organization becomes faster, not just productive. This one is huge scale, so treat your internal platform like products. So that means giving your developers golden paths, pipelines they don't have to build from scratch. Right? So the result, the faster onboarding, fewer outages, and dev team that feels supported, not slowed down. Think of the platform team as serving your builders just like products serves customers, right? Now let's talk about compliance. So not as a blocker, but as a design constraint. So across the world, this is non-negotiable. You got, like I said, PIPL, DSL, and the cybersecurity laws in China, GDPR in Europe, CCPA in the United States, the LGPD in Brazil, and a wave of AI-specific regulations coming in Canada. So what's leading teams are doing is embedding compliance directly in their pipelines. Okay. Privacy checks happens at build time. Generative prompts and outputs pass through automation risk filters before deployment. So think of Ant Group, Microsoft, and SAP. Each has built model review boards and explainability gates right into their delivery flow. So if your AI generates something that breaches policy or ethics standards, it doesn't ship. This is how organizations protect users, maintain trust, and safeguard the business globally by design. So the final shift is digital twins for delivery. So you may know the concept from manufacturing or logistics, but now we're seeing it in software planning too. So JD Logistics built a twin of their entire warehouse and routing system. Before they changed anything, they simulated what happens to fulfillment speed if we reroute these zones. You can do this in delivery time, simulate staffing needs, simulate peak loads, run chaos drills before go live in high stake launches like 11 or national infrastructure platforms. You want to learn in a sandbox, not in production. So you have to remember that in the sandbox before production, the QA before production. So for my book, what I suggest is first AI helps, but you stay accountable. But AI helps, but you stay accountable, right? AI doesn't own delivery. The human does. Second, we use the RACFT prompting to give AI clear tasks, role, ask, content, format, and tone. I showed you examples before. And third, this maps to real project management practice. You can use AI in risk registers, forecast, status reporting, test plans, and of course, closed out. So any part of the project management life cycle, you can definitely use AI for. My book goes through all of that as well too. So we need to always remember that we need to keep the human in the loop, okay? So we draft, review, and reprove. AI should help the process, not bypass it. At the end of the day, the person that makes a decision is the human, not the machine. The machine has no empathy, has no sympathy, and does not have accountability. So therefore, it's here to assist a co-pilot, not a pilot. The pilot is the human, the co-pilot is the machine. They always need to have a human in the loop. We are the ones with empathy. We know what's out there. We know what feelings are. So at the end of the day, we make the decision, not the AI. It should never be the other way around. So how a machine works with a human is not so much automation. You have to remember it's augmentation. Augmentation is the machine working with the human. We're both helping each other, but the human's making the decision at the end of the day. So AI is for project management is not about automation. You can use it for low risk automated tasks, for like mundane tasks, like everyday tasks. But at the end, it's augmentation. We're working with the machine, not having the machine work strictly for us. We look over workflows, we make accountability, we make the decision. So like if we move into like WeChat mini programs, which represent a different challenge, how do you manage software products inside someone else's platform? So mini programs are built within WeChat, meaning you don't fully own the tech stack, right? The user identity or even the runtime environment. The advancement here is hyper distributed product delivery. So PM ships dozens of lightweight features every week, but near zero install friction and deep integration into payments and ID. But the challenge, delivery quality, speed, and compliance without full control over infrastructure or release cycles. This forces the project managers to rethink velocity, not just as story points, but as a value per release inside constraints. So think of it as project management with one hand tied, but still expecting to perform at a national scale. Okay, in North America, you have Amazon robots, shows what happens when software meets hardware at scales. Their fulfillment centers run on synchronized systems of AI-driven voice robots, anonymous picking arms, right? And autonomous picking arms. So it picks up like these boxes and all that stuff. It has a robot arm and predictive routing. The real advancement is the creation of a digital twin of the entire fulfillment network, a live simulation that tests every operational change before it touches a single package. So the project management challenge is massive. Each software release affects robots, people, and real-time logistics, all while balancing SLAs, delivery promises, and efficient targets. So project managers at Amazon coordinate across engineering, operations, and product, aligning every team under one shared KPI throughout the whole flow. So simulation has become their shared language, a bridge between data, devices, and decisions. So this is project management grounded in the physical world, real-time, high stakes, and relentless measurement. In North America, we have JP Morgan Chase. The challenge is the same, building AI systems that move fast but still safe. Their fraud detection models analyze millions of transactions per second, using advanced graph-based analytics to flag anomalies before money can even leave an account. So but that precision comes with weight. So every false positive means a customer locked out of their funds. So every false positive means a customer locked out of their funds. So the breakthrough is how they've built human oversight directly into high-speed AI pipelines. So the project managers lead the model review boards, fairness audits, and explain and have checks on it that run before or after every deployment. So this intersection involves machine learning, finance, and public trust. So again, to wrap it up here, the future, all I say is Gartner and the World Economic Forum forecasts by 2030 that AI will manage more than half of all project tasks, from scheduling and reporting, optimization, and forecasting. That's the automation part about it, and that's okay. And those are like low risk type of things that are not totally effective. But again, the human will do the execution of course, on more complex projects. But as a global content, we're already seeing this in motion. So across North America, Europe, Asia, enterprise PMs are integrating autonomous scheduling, predictive resource allocation, and AI-driven dashboards. Industry applications, so AI is redefining how projects are executed across construction, education, and healthcare. We know that in education, like Squirrel AI delivers adaptive learning tailored to each student, transferring classrooms into dynamic project-like experience managed by algorithms. That's pretty cool. And what's really neat is that the hospitals throughout places like China, I think China has the first ever AI hospital that I read about, and it's deployed AI-powered diagnostics and triage systems that cut decision times and improve accuracy. So there's no wait times and all that stuff. You just come in. It's like really fast paced with similar adoption trends emerging right now in Singapore, Germany, and of course Canada. You have to remember that in AI, the most and powerful, well, the most popular industry would be healthcare, and the second is actually education. Right now, that's where it's taking off. Other will be military and stuff, but healthcare is definitely number one. And I've seen so much of this happening in places like China and Japan, which I'm extremely impressed on. Again, if you wanted to learn more, you'll get a copy of the PDF. If you have any questions, you can always scan this, and that goes to my LinkedIn if you have LinkedIn. And that's a scan to my book if you ever wanted to get more on it. It's in China, it's in version of China as well. But if you have any questions, please let me know, and I would be more than willing to accommodate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grisling, for the wonderful sharing. You have proposed a framework for integrating AI into the whole project management process. Project manager need to take the final responsibility for projects, and AI only provide prediction and efficiency support. Okay, and now it's time to interaction Q&A section. Let's check and answer the question. The questions. Okay. There's some questions one by one. The first one. NJ.
Oh yeah, I'm going to answer. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question and very timely questions. Because when we talk about AI governance, it's not just about compliance, but about shaping the conditions under which innovation can be trusted to scale. Based on the comparative analysis of the 5 governance models I today presented, the EU, US, China, South Korea, and Japan, I would argue that the most sustainable model for long-term AI project success is a layered hybrid approach. Here's why. The EU's risk-based framework under the AI Act establishes a clear, enforceable foundation for ethics, transparency, and accountability. It compares project managers to document data sets, justify design decision, and monitor post-deployment outcomes, which in practice becomes a built-in risk management structure. And US model, on the other hand, thrives on market dynamism and corporate self-regulation. It allows faster innovation cycles, internal experiments, and flexible responsible to technological shift. This flexibility is essential for emerging AI tools where regulation often lags behind innovation. And China's state-led governance integrates AI projects directly into national policy objectives, offering strong conditional and scalability. But it tends to centralize decision power, which can sometimes limit openness and multi-stakeholder collaboration. Finally, Korea and Japan's sandbox-driven frameworks offer a middle path. They allow real-world testing of AI solutions within defined regulatory boundaries. This experiment evaluate expand cycle ensures that both innovation and oversight evolves hand in hand. Taken together, these elements form layered hybrid governance model. Such a hybrid allows project managers to balance innovation with responsibility and efficiency with trust, which is precisely what defines sustainability in AI-driven management. But if I had to choose a single model, I would like to choose the EU approach. It can be slower early on, but its risk tiering, documentation, and human oversight requirements create durable trust and predictability. And that's what prevents costly reversals later. That's what I thought for this question.
Thank you. And the next is Birong. Emma.
Okay. Yeah, so let me just repeat the question quickly. So, what are the most common pitfalls you have observed when teams try to define this metrics, and how can they be avoided? So, this is a good question. For me, from my past experience, so the common pitfalls that we used to use as metrics for the project goal is the triple constraints: time, cost, and scope. So those three factors have long been cornerstones of project success metrics. So, however, while these constraints help monitor project progress and maintain control, they do not adequately assess a project ultimate impact and value. So I would advocate focus on outcomes and value generated by the project rather than merely the process of giving it. Because we want to shift the emphasis from outputs to outcomes. In this way, we can ensure that projects contribute meaningfully to organization goals and stakeholders' satisfaction. So, how can we avoid it? There are a couple ways. So, I think first we can define like a higher purpose. We can articulate the project's purpose in the early stage, so which will help align all stakeholders and provides like a guiding star or north star for decision making throughout the project's life cycle. And with that, we can define like a measurable benefits from this business purpose. Last, I would also emphasize the engaging with stakeholders, because the value of data-driven project management comes from all team members. So understanding how their work impacts the business outcomes will help them more motivate the team, and it is what matters. Yeah. So that's my question. That's my question and answer here.
Okay, thank you. And the last question before I answer the question, Christy, I need to remind all of you, please at the end to fill out the questionnaire to help us improve the quality of future sharing session. So please at the end, don't forget this, okay? And again, continue, Christine, please.
Okay. Yeah, the first question, implementation of PMI, are there any other softwares besides ChatGPT? Yeah, that's a good question. ChatGPT is great for strategic planning and writing, conversational. It's awesome for that. But if you want something that helps for executing projects, for agile projects, there's something called ClickUp. So ClickUp AI and Asana Intelligence are both strong for that. It actually has a really good tools for dashboarding and stuff, but that's for like more Scrum or Agile projects. ClickUp AI and Asana Intelligence, and I think it's very much it's free and but it's extremely powerful that I've used. So again, the ClickUp lets you type natural language prompts like plan a 2-week sprint for the client, and it will break out the tasks and priorities and deadlines automatically. And Asana's AI focuses more on insights and summaries. So like analytics and in the dashboard, it can pull insights and highlights updates, flags risks, and even suggest follow-ups automatically. So that's pretty neat. But if you focus on more prediction and optimization, ChatGPT is good for prediction, obviously, for predictive analytics, but there's something called Reich and there's something called forecast. And Reich's AI predicts delivery risks and alerts you before deadlines slip, right? And forecast uses machine learning to plan capacity and more cost, more accurate across the portfolios. So those are the two differences. Now, there's something also cool if you want to automate scheduling, which a lot of people do, and there's something called motion. So there's something called motion. It's constantly reorders your team's calendar based on shifting priorities and deadlines. So it's like having an AI assistant managing time for everybody. So yes, ChatGPT again, like I said, it's very powerful for strategic planning and writing. But there's some other tools out there that I like to use a lot. And again, it's ClickUp, Write, Forecast, Motion. So that's what I would suggest there. I mean, there's other ones too, but there's so much around the world too in China and Asia that I've never even heard of. And I've heard about it recently, but it's all in Chinese language and or Japanese or Asian. I can't read that, but there's a lot of different tools out there. You have to keep on researching. That's the ones I suggested are used in North America, but I'm sure there's others that I'm not even sure about because I can't understand how it actually works because I can't read the language. So we try to use AI technology to enhance the accumulation and utilization of organizations' process assets and stuff. What should we do? Do you have any suggestions? Yeah, that's a good question. So, hmm, with that one, I would say ChatGPT or DeepSeek, whichever you use ChatGPT to document knowledge. Okay, so capturing lessons learned in the closing phase, best practices, retrospectives for sprints, all that kind of stuff. So automating meeting summaries, do that through a model like DeepSeek or ChatGPT. So you're documenting the knowledge and the meeting minutes and the decision logs and all that kind of stuff. Use that for that. But if you're integrating AI into communication documentations, use ChatGPT again would be good for that for integrating AI into communication. As we know, Teams and Zoom has all of these extensions that you can use. But for fine-tuned AI models on internal data, like for a customized, fine-tuned, what you call it, model for an organization. So fine-tune models on your organization historical project data to make it content aware. You have to make sure that you're using a fine-tuned model within your organization if you're using some type of predefined model, right? Because that's the only way to make sure that the security is within your organization and not being leaked. And it'd be less bias as well too if you're training it in within the organization that you're working for. So other stuff like automating knowledge transfer, onboarding, and centralizing classify outputs applied obviously always. When we're using generative AI, what's the main thing we use it for? Data-driven decisions. So applying predictive analytics for more information modeling. Information modeling meaning more knowledge and suggestions from raw data, right? So always try to apply, use AI to analyze past project data and extract patterns for future planning. And you can definitely do that with ChatGPT. So I hope that answers.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, all guests. Thank you very much for staying with us until end of this event. Again, thank you, Professor Ng. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you, and
Thank
Mr.
you.
Kristen.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
everyone.
Thank you very much.
And all the staff member on backend for your hard work. Thank you. Or see you next time. See you.
See you next
See you.
time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.